Hey folks, in this video I'm going to highlight and demonstrate this really beautiful Sony PS-X75 Biotracer turntable. The Biotracer X75 was introduced by Sony in 1979. So what you have here is the top of the line turntable from one of the top manufacturers at the peak of the turntable era. And this one has some really great features and has advanced technology. Really gives it great performance as well as really unique and convenient operation. With that, let's just take a look at the turntable itself. So this one is in near mint condition, and I have to say it's been beautifully and lovingly restored by myself. I've used it in my system for at least 3 months, probably 3 to 4 months. So it functions beautifully. It's been thoroughly and fully restored. It came to me as in excellent condition, and I just brought it up from there. So let's talk a little bit about the Sony. So the Biotracer means that it has electromagnets that control really 3 functions. One is the horizontal motion of the arm, the vertical motion of the arm, and then the lifter for cueing. So all that's controlled by electromagnets with the associated electromagnetic sensors. So as you'll see in the demo, it's really just ultra smooth performance. And that's not just for the automatic functionality. That also provides damping for resonances to really improve the sound quality, and also is noted for working with a really wide variety of cartridges. So where typically you have to dial the cartridge in very specifically for your specific tone arm, this one accepts a wider range because of that electromechanical damping effect. That said, the kind of medium to slightly medium-high mass of this arm is really well suited to modern cartridges. Soon after this period, a lot of the manufacturers got into the ultralight tone arms, which were wonderful at the time, but kind of can limit your cartridge choices today. So this type design is a little more versatile in the modern era. A couple other unique features is that the vertical tracking force as well as vertical tracking angle are adjustable, and they're adjustable on the fly, meaning while you play a record. So while you're playing the record, the tracking force, which is the pressure of the stylus on the record, is adjusted electrically here. Now the tracking angle, which is the height of the tone arm, which then controls the angle of the stylus as it's applied to the record. That's controlled mechanically here, but it can be done while the record is playing by loosening this pivot and then adjusting it forward or back. Which, if you enjoy changing cartridges or feel like it's something you'll enjoy doing and experimenting with different cartridges, super easy to change carts. Very simple procedure to balance the arm. Once you balance the arm, then you can get the other adjustments dialed in beautifully while it's playing, which is really wonderful. So a few things to note from the restoration. I think we already covered the cosmetic condition, which is an easy near mint. I really see nothing to call out. Probably as close to an out-of-the-box experience as you're likely to find. So 3 things are absolutely mandatory for these turntables to really ensure proper and reliable operation. One is that all the horizontal and cueing mechanism, which are below the plinth, that entire mechanism needs to be disassembled, cleaned, relubricated, and assembled. It's fairly complex assembly, but the old lubricants have got to be taken out and replaced with modern equivalents. Second is the calibration for all the tone arm controls, and those need to be, 40 years into the life of this turntable, as those have drifted. Many of these turntables will exhibit strange behavior with the tone arm, and people will think a problem with microprocessor or whatever. Typically it's the issue is the lubrication as well as the calibration, and that will fix 90% of the issues that are out there. The third thing to do is these controls, these push button controls, because they sit out in the open when the lid is down. Even in a nice and clean environment, they will get a little dusty and grungy under these buttons. So I take this panel off, I disassemble it, I clean all these buttons. Everything is very thoroughly cleaned. So not only is it beautiful, but it functions really well. So those are three things that are absolutely essential. And other things that are just nice to do from the standpoint of reliability and function and appearance. One is I do take off the tone arm and disassemble, clean all of these parts, including related to the tracking angle and the ability to move this tone arm up and down, as well as make sure that this platform for the tone arm is then reattached nice and solid. So all that's been done, as well as lubricating the lifter pivot and the tone arm, but the spindle assembly for the motor. So I don't just drop a couple drops of oil in there. I take the motor, disassemble the motor, clean it properly with alcohol, lubricate it, reassemble it. The lamp for the control tower there has been replaced. They can last a long time. Once you replace it, you'll see that's just an incandescent. It's nice and bright white light. So if it looks kind of yellow, it's not because it's incandescent. It's just old. Let's see, the tower lamp. Oh, recap of all the electrolytics. So there's 30 electrolytic capacitors associated with the function electronics of the turntable. All those been recapped with audio grade Nichicon, as well as Elna Silmic audio grade caps. Cleaned and lubricated the hinges as well, so you get good operation of the dust cover up and down. Dust cover has been polished. I did polish that. It's not perfect, but it's really very, very nice. It's in excellent condition and presents very well. And finally, number of other things, but probably the last thing to note is that installed a new Audio-Technica 3600L cartridge and aligned that properly using the Dr. Fikert Lyman protractor. So this is a well-regarded entry-level cart. Certainly this turntable can benefit from really upgrades. This turntable is of a quality that you could put really any grade or any level of cartridge on here, up to the nicest carts, and you'll really be able to get great performance out of them. So with that, let's go ahead and do a demo. So it's really a treat to see this turntable and then see it functioning so well. So actually, let's take the record off. If you try to play without a record, it'll sense that the record's not there. So it senses the presence of a record as well as the size of a record. It will sense a 12-inch or 75, or rather 7-inch 45 record. So it senses that automatically and adjusts the lead in appropriately. So let's go ahead and hit start with the record on. The movement of the arm and the cueing on this is ultra smooth and so silent. It's really a dream to use. So with that, let's show the arm motion. So we've queued up, and it's designed to use these buttons for arm movement. When you first press, it moves slowly and then moves quickly. The idea that you get quickly close to where you want to get. In this case, we're going to go very close to the end. Then use, short clicks to get yourself exactly where you want to be. And what we're going to show now is the repeat function, which is really about the most complicated thing this turntable will be called to do, is to repeat a side. So while that's finishing, let's talk about a couple other things. We do have speed control, 33 and 45. One thing that's very convenient, and I hope you can hear me, is, so that's going to repeat in just a moment. We'll let that, we'll watch that, and then I'll get to the next step. Alright, so it's repeated and cued down to the correct position again. Alright, with that, let's just show stop and return. Now, one thing that's nice is it does have separate stop and start buttons. So at any point, let's say you start the record and you get interrupted, if you hit start again, it will then go back to the beginning. So you can restart the record at any point, at any time rather, without, sometimes these buttons are combined and you're forced to essentially stop before restarting. Another thing I find very convenient is it has a motor on off switch, and this is great for, say if you want to dust your record. So you can do that before you get involved in playing. So sometimes it's nice to just get that done and then play your record and not be dusting while you're playing. Now, because this is a very strong direct drive motor, let's go ahead and show that off. If we do start it and we play, let's go a little further in just to get some music quickly. So if you dust your record while you're playing, you don't get any slowdown in the pitch. So just demonstrating that we have a nice strong motor there. So I think with that we'll wrap this one up. So hope you enjoyed this and have a great day.